And culture is something which is like air. It is invisible,
Yeah.
but its effect can be felt and seen. And if you can get the culture piece right,
Mm.
almost all other things fall in place. They get sorted.
Whenever we speak about culture, automatically there is a set of rules or a set of principles, values, which immediately come to our mind. And in fact, you even spoke about, what would somebody who's there for 24 hours within Veranda's culture, what would they imbibe?
Welcome to Culture Café, a vibrant and inspiring podcast series brought to you by the Confederation of Indian Industry and Avtar, celebrating 25 years of shaping inclusive workplaces. In this milestone year, we bring you transformative conversations with leaders who are redefining workplace cultures. From boardroom wins to human movements that changed everything. These conversations are your backstage pass to how organizations thrive one connection at a time. In this episode, we have with us Vivek Sapre, Group CHRO, Veranda Learning Solutions, offering insights into how strong leadership and people-first strategies can redefine workplace culture.
A very warm welcome to all of you for this podcast of Culture Cafe, brought to you by the Confederation of Indian Industry and Avtar, celebrating its 25 years of powering workplace cultures. I have the great pleasure of having with me today on this episode of Culture Cafe Mr. Vivek Sapre, Group Chief Human Resources Officer at Veranda Learning Solutions. And in this episode, we are going to be talking to him about all things culture. And without further ado, let me first of all welcome our guest to the show. Vivek, it's wonderful having you with us here.
Pleasure is all mine, Dr. Saundarya. I am honored.
Thank you so much. Thanks a lot. Um, yours is one of those really interesting profiles, and you've had some fantastic growth, very accelerated growth in a short period of time. And more than, the aspects of the work that you have done and in different organizations, what 2 points really stood out for me? What stood out for me where one is the tech enablement of HR that you have done, and the second is your passion for diversity, equity, and inclusion. So let me, get started with this conversation, Vivek, and let me ask you, with regard to your professional journey and work in the culture space, in the workplace culture space, why do you think a strong, defined culture is essential for any organization?
So, Dr. Saundarya, I'll just take this opportunity to first convey that coming from the versatile background has helped me a lot. And it has helped me to see various cultures before I got into the role of head of HR and now CHRO last 10 years. And that has definitely helped. So, culture, of course, is thought of by many as an initiative, and they will conduct culture workshop and so on and so forth.
Correct.
But to the organizations I've been part of, thankfully, culture is in fact enabler of all the initiatives.
Super.
And culture is something which is like air. It is invisible,
Yeah.
but its effect can be felt and seen. And if you can get the culture piece right,
Mm.
almost all other things fall in place. They get sorted. And it's otherwise also, it's other way around also. If culture is not what we want, then a lot of great initiatives and strategy will not work the way they should. So we pay a lot of emphasis on culture and values. And when it comes to culture, two segments we pay a lot of attention upon. One is new joiners to the setup, because
Mm.
that is where you want to imbibe the elements of culture and more so towards the interns and the management trainees. And that is where we have a philosophy that they should get supervised by mid-level and above in the initial years of their nurturing and handholding and mentoring and all. And second is one of the segment which otherwise struggles a lot, women employees, right? So how we can ensure that they get better footing in the corporate setup with initiatives like Mentor Women, with World of Women kind of forums for them to connect with each other, learn from each other, and also aspects like allowing even in a all day work from office setup. Most of our women employee will be a 1 day work from home. We call it pink day, so on and so forth. So these two segments we pay a lot of attention upon. And second career for women has been a program which I have been campaigning wherever I have been part
Very
of. So
nice.
where probably Avtar is what I had gotten connected a couple of years back when I joined Veranda
Thank
to
you.
see how we can work together. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Vivek. And I just loved when you said that culture is like air. And if you get the culture piece right, if you've got that sorted, then you have literally got everything about the company sorted. I mean, truer words couldn't have been spoken. So, if somebody, this is my next question to you, if somebody spent 24 hours within Veranda Learning,
Hmm.
what would be that moment during their day or during that time which would actually tell them a lot about the culture at Veranda and the leadership style?
So at Veranda, what we essentially believe is empowerment.
Okay.
Right from the top, right from the holding company to all 14, 15 odd subsidiaries over here at Veranda. The work style is you'll be given direction, you will be given a task, activity, initiative, and then you'll be empowered that how you want to go about it, your method, your way of doing things. Even for subsidiaries, the acquired ones, it won't be that all the strings will be pulled from the holding company. A lot of empowerment and space, innovation, scope for that will be given to subsidiaries, to leadership, to management,
Right.
at all this. And they will be allowed to do their things their way, focus on business.
Mm-hmm.
Holding company will take care of arriving at and allowing synergies, will take care of some of the aspects like how to manage regulations and compliance, how to go for the fundraise, so that the promoter, founder of the subsidiaries are able to be focused. And so you won't come across a day, a 24-hour at Veranda where it won't be a lot of meetings and reviews because you'll be given task, assignment, project, whatever, and then it is your way, how you do, and towards the reasonable time frame, there will be kind of a feedback loop or a follow that
Okay.
where are you? Has it been closed? But long meetings, 20 people joining in that meeting, where probably 2 phone calls would have sufficed. You won't come across that at Veranda. And things thereby would be in a very calm, composed, and then methodical. So that's how you will probably differentiate, distinguish Veranda from many other corporations now.
Got it. Got it. Very nice. So it's a fairly calm and very composed culture, and one where everyone, all the holding companies, I mean, the group companies, the acquired organizations, which are all part of the group, they have their own independence and they also network among each other. That's really nice. Yeah.
Absolutely. And yet we are result oriented and merit driven. So calm and
Absolutely.
composure doesn't mean that stress or mean that is part of the game.
Yeah.
Orientation for result, customer centricity,
Absolutely.
and driven by the aspects of sustainable profits are very much there. But in a
Absolutely.
calm, composed, methodical way, not in a post chaotic,
Very
ambiguous
nice.
atmosphere.
Got it. Got it. That's a great way to describe a culture too, because while energy is very important in any culture, that energy of doing, of creating, of making things happen. I think when, you're not doing it in a chaotic way, when it's being done in a systematic manner, when it's being approached in a very clearly thought through way, I think that really defines a good culture, a very strong culture.
Yeah.
So, great. Vivek, there could be some decisions with regard to culture which when a leader takes with all good intentions, assuming that, this is going to really benefit the people, sometimes it doesn't turn out that way. So, have there been in your career any such cultural decision or any such thing which impacted the culture, which finally you felt maybe it needn't have happened that way?
No. So here I would like to give an example of something which I learned from someone else and avoided at the workplaces I have been part of. So many times, more so in sales-driven organizations, sales-force-driven organizations, you
Hmm.
have incentive structures to drive
Yes.
performance, merit, all that.
Yeah.
Right? And some of the organizations, they have the philosophy that whatever is yours, a fixed compensation. Your monthly incentive, quarterly incentive cannot be more than that. It could be with good intent that you may not end up earning more than your supervisor and so on and so forth. But what I believe and what the organizations I have been part of believe that performance should not be capped, cannot be
Mm.
capped, and thereby incentive cannot be capped. If you earn more than supervisor, so be it. If you are a field force person and you are ending up earning more than your supervisor, through your own performance and effort, so be it. Organization will benefit, the supervisor is going to benefit because his or her targets are also going to get achieved. So this is
Yeah.
something we looked at around, saw it as a barrier to, in fact, optimizing performance.
Mm.
And that is where we thought, yes,
Yeah.
supervisory and their sentiments have to be taken care of. But they also should be knowing that performance matters, individual
Yeah.
performance matters. And
Yeah.
in their own good, if they are around and nurture their team members, that they are able to achieve more than what their own monthly salary is. Nothing like it.
That's
Nothing like it.
fantastic. Absolutely. And I really like the powerful thought behind what you just expressed, Vivek. The fact that, if you're going to cap somebody's incentive, you're in effect capping their performance. It then means that, they are going to only work to that extent because they know that even if they brought out their best, it's never going to be able to touch a new level. So
And,
this was quite profound.
and
Thank you
then
so much.
cultural, yeah, and then cultural element of merit driven organization, customer
Yeah.
centric organization. We also take
Yes.
it. So,
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. See, so that's where the entire thing about, the industry that Veranda is in, that actually becomes very interesting. See, you are a tech first, tech driven, digital native organization. So, technology would be playing very, very important role in this. But sometimes technology does tend to alienate humaneness, in fact. So, how do you deal with that? How do you ensure that the cutting edge aspects of technology are going hand in hand with the deep sense of empathy and people first focus?
so here I would bifurcate it into two. One is employee facing and the other is customer facing as well. So
Mm.
when we are looking at employee, today HRIs, HRMs are very capable, right? From onboarding, induction, till exit interview, and everything can be system generated, system based. But we ensure it is very human driven.
Mm.
So our inductions, our welcomes, our induction training, our supervisory development training, leadership development training, coaching, mentoring assignments, whatever. And along with that, all the employee lifecycle initiative till say one decides to move on a exit interview. We ensure even though it is system enabled and everything is available on the system, human touch and interface happens.
Mm.
Likewise, on student side also, it can be all dashboards and auto-driven functionalities, AI answering, chatbot answering. Yet we ensure that our faculty is like coach and mentor. In some of the programs, in fact, you will be assigned a formal mentor and coach who will be beyond the usual classes, will
Okay.
be addressing your queries, questions, so on and so forth. Right? So
Nice.
it can be done by AI, it can be done by bots, and it has also been there. It's not that we are not leveraging technology, we are leveraging it like the best possible probably. At the same time, the human touch interface we are not missing it. And we
Yeah.
are ensuring it's a glue which keeps our students and employees connected.
Super. Um, Vivek, for an edtech company, teachers, content creators, tutors, people who are actually the ones that deliver the learning experience. Now they're core to what you do. They are core to the solution or the service that's offered, but they're also a little outside. So, for instance, if you're going to be putting together, a course or some kind of a skilling program on a subject which requires an SME, a subject matter expert, that individual is probably a little outside your environment, and you bring them in to deliver it. How do you
True.
make sure that they feel connected to Veranda's culture? I mean, do you make sure that they also experience that culture, or are they kind of outside it?
So, like I was mentioning, if you spend 24 hours in veranda, you will see empowerment,
Yeah.
right? So, that is something which is extended across. So, when we look at teachers or faculty, there are probably three broad sets we have. We have schools, we have colleges, and we have kind of coaching institutes or various entrance
Okay.
exams.
Okay.
So in schools, the typical mindset of a teacher may not be going and looking beyond academics.
Mm-hmm.
But at Veranda, we have created programs where they can move into administrative roles
Oh,
and they can move into hardcore product or tech side of pedagogy and academic science. And
nice.
well beyond that, they can move within organizations like a good faculty can also be a good coaching center faculty, not just in school,
Yeah.
right? And then a good administrative person in school, a dean or a principal, HOD, can be a good center manager managing a branch, right? So we also have leaders where internal job postings and things, they can move
Mm.
into assistant roles in.
Okay.
Again, I can give an example of colleges. So some subject matter experts will be like, I can give an example from the facilities. In school, we have Veranda curriculum. In
Okay.
colleges, we have a opposite group of colleges.
Mm-hmm.
And entrepreneurship is something which is being imbibed to students nowadays. And the faculty which are there are usually very expert in that.
Mm.
And how to try to encourage student participation is by one of the professors did this. He went to students giving them 100 rupees and saying, 1 week down the line, come back with how you can create a business, how you could create a business and the story around it. And was it profitable? Was it effective? Was
Okay.
it right? And she gave them leeway. Some started their snack centers, some started their co-branded thing, something with NGO kind of co-opting NGOs, and so on and so forth. Some did tutoring and coaching kind of thing
Okay.
to see how that 100 rupee can be multiplied. But more than that, the emphasis was on creativity, on
Okay.
impact, on rapport building, on negotiation, and so on and so forth. Right? So very unique ways of teaching and pedagogy, and that is empowered because we allow this experimentation. So,
Nice.
and that is
Nice.
how it extends to faculties as well. I mean,
Yeah.
not just coaching they do for the entrance exam, even beyond
Got
that,
it.
when they are reached out, they become like real life coaches and mentors to those students. And that's why referral is the key channel of our new student
Mm.
expectation.
Okay.
Majority of our students across our business lines would be coming through referrals. Kind of
Okay.
ecosystem they get is something where you are beyond just commercially connected, you create a relationship with them. And that's what drives us.
Nice. Super. Whenever we speak about culture, automatically there is a set of rules or a set of principles, values, which immediately come to our mind. And in fact, you even spoke about, what would somebody who's there for 24 hours within Veranda's culture, what would they imbibe? Um, has there been some aspect or some law or rule which was there within the organization that kind of, was broken? Either, I mean, not necessarily only within this company, but any of your other past organizations, which, was a ritual that was not followed. And what was the consequence of that? Any thoughts or sharing?
So in here, I would give an example. We probably were able, we were smart or we were able to learn from our adjacent complete space or industry and avoid some of the pitfall. I'll probably give that example. COVID from recent past was a time that it was a big crisis, global crisis, that impacted anything and everything around us, including the businesses we were in. right? And we were all working from home, and one fine day, organizations were allowed to open 25% attendance, 50% attendance. And in those days, I was in a business which was very customer facing. You
Yeah.
need to be at customer doorstep to actually win business, get business.
Mm.
Right. So many of the organizations, of course, beyond the pay cuts and all, which we did not, beyond the hold of promotion and increments, which we did not, it was not a deep corporate organization. Invested in employees and we wanted whatever possible to be done for the employee. This is where organizations say, many organizations leading by example and
Mm.
walking the talk, or the leader should set the precedents or be the role models, right? And at the same time, many such organizations were asking their field force to be in field, be at customer doorstep, while the leaders were sitting in their home doing OC. So when our time to open came,
Mm-hmm.
right from CEO to all the CXOs, HR head and all, we all ensured we go to office first. And we conducted a town hall, a VC, event sort of, from office boardroom to connect with employees across. That guys, we want our business to restart. We want you to be in Sheen.
Mm.
But before that happens, we are already in office. So
Okay.
that is leading by example, what I would say, which many
Yeah.
missed, which many missed. It's not just, okay,
Got it.
go, do it. Great job. It is also leading by example. When we are asking you to be in field, before that, we ourselves are in
You
our
have to
field.
be. Yep.
Right. So that is what probably differentiating. And that is where probably I think many who have some culture cornerstone of leading by example did miss the bus.
Got it.
And the
That's
goodwill
a
which
that's
created
very
in employees
yeah.
was different. Right. They will listen to you, hear you, go that extra mile when you
True.
need.
True.
Right. So one example I can give, one of our customer service employee was
Mm-hmm.
asked for a statement of account by an employee, a customer,
Okay.
in physical form. In those days, local and metros were also not applying. And looking at probably taking a cue from leadership, I don't know. That employee went almost 35 kilometers on cycle,
Wow.
gave that statement of account to that customer. And of course, he got to know of it. We did immediate felicitation of that employee on
Yeah.
customer centricity value. And that
Super.
value champion award was given. But the aspect is very deep by example, our team start from. And that's what we did not miss. We ensure we didn't miss it. Yeah.
Very, very nicely articulated, Vivek. I really loved the fact that, when the leaders set that bar high, people are inspired to follow. And what you just described about the person cycling 35 kilometers to actually make the customer's day, create that customer delight, truly powerful. That actually brings me to kind of the last question in this podcast. Um, Culture is about people within the organization. Culture is about your employees. It's sort of the warm cocoon within which the every employee really thrives. But what if you could extend it outside your organization? Have there been instances where the cultural mooring of the company has actually enabled people to maybe go outside the organization and help or support people?
Wherever I have been managing the HR piece per se, thankfully, I have been working with promoters, founders who are very impactful.
Mm-hmm.
They're not here only for profit and sustainable profit, they are also to guide social aspect. Previously, it was financial inclusion in one of my previous setup. And in this one, it is affordable and accessible education. So when right from founder promoter, it flows.
Okay.
Probably driven by what they saw or what they had to go through in their childhood and teenage and education years.
Mm-hmm.
It drives the organization to create impact. So, for example, one of our founders of one of our company, Veranda Rates, that organization conducts blood donation camp. And since affordability of education is such core to us, Our impetus on technology, our impetus on digital, our impetus on whatever we do is towards bringing that cost down and making it better quality in whatever shape and form that education is, school,
Okay.
college, entrance exam, whatever. Right. And by virtue of that, there are ways and avenues, a lot of our setups and a lot of our employees, and even in past organizations, they go beyond their corporate responsibility and duty because there'll be tutoring, coaching, mentoring, they will go to old age homes, they will go to blood donation and clot donation drives, we kind of tree plantations, right? So giving back becomes a philosophy when it is actually driven from top and it becomes part of your culture. Again, walking the talk from the leader makes it something which gets extended. And that is how society benefits, society sees us in different light. And that ultimately helps with getting better talent and with this better employee engagement, better retention. So
Very
that
true.
good cycle does it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's where we have been benefiting a lot.
Fantastic. Lovely. I think you described it so beautifully. There was a visual image in front of me when I could see that, all of these actions kind of, create this virtuous cycle, which then yields benefit to the company in the form
Yeah.
of so many things: sustainability, better talent, access to, talent which you wouldn't usually kind of, be able to identify, all of these things. So, this was such a great conversation. Thank you so much, Vivek.
In fact, you made me visit some of the memories which are probably at the back of my mind. And they help you revisit and then re-establish
Yes.
some of the things which maybe are
Yeah.
there. Thanks a lot.
When you were speaking, I was doing the same thing because you were describing several of these, experiences, happenings,
Mhm.
and you were really kind of, sharing how leadership and the role modeling of traits is so
Mhm.
important down the line. I was thinking of many leaders that I have interacted with, and similar things. So such
So,
conversations are always a great treasure trove of memories which we are
yeah,
able to tap into and access. So
absolutely.
this was so wonderful having you with us,
Mhm.
Vivek. Folks, I really hope that you all had a great experience listening to Vivek Sapre, Group CHRO of Veranda Learning. And like me, you're also taking away many nuggets of wisdom with regard to culture and how it impacts everything within an organization. Thank you so much, Vivek, for joining us. And folks, until next time, here's me signing off on Culture Cafe.
Thank you, Person Sundar and team. It was pleasure and privilege. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so very much. Thank you, Vivek.